my god! The moon is coming down to crash us! It's fucking Boomkin! Holy shit! Boomkin has had some interesting updates. A lot in the blue post, some of them in the beta, and a lot still not yet implemented. What's going on? I'm confused. Should I be excited? I kind of like some of the things. I really don't like some of the other things. And it's close to Dragonflight release o'clock. But that's what we are going to be talking about today in this coverage of Boomkin in the beta right now for Dragonflight. We are on the cusp of receiving access to Mythic Plus and really realizing if Boomkin is dog shit. It's mechanically actually really fucking fun. But before we go into that, if you like the kind of content that we do daily, and we cover pretty much every change that happens to classes and specs to make sure that you can play what you like and have a lot of information, be informed when you choose your main and your alt and what to raid with or push keys with or maybe even do PvP. Although we're mostly about PvE. And if you like this type of content, you want to support us to make us be able to do it daily, which we are trying very hard to do, then consider becoming a patron. It actually does really help us out. If you click the link down below in the description, you'll have our Patreon page. There's a couple of tiers and goodies that you can get depending on your preferences, and you'll be able to get stuff like custom wallpapers, access to the discords and the class and all of the stuff, which is actually for all patrons, and even monthly chats, which we are probably due a Patreon talk with our patrons, so maybe this is a good chance for you to hop on board. It does actually support us a lot and makes this a possibility to be able to do these videos for you guys on a daily basis. Thank you, we appreciate all the support, and let's go into Boomkin without wasting too much time. And the Druid is kind of in a shithole right now in terms of design. Although Fuhrer has received some love, and we did do a video about that as well. Let's actually talk about Boomkin and basically balanced Druid in general. The general talent tree, I don't think it changed one bit, and maybe it should. I think it should. Can we change the general talent tree, please? Well, to be fair, like 80% of it I don't really have a problem with, but the last 20% I kind of really do have a problem with. But this is of course, personally. The most egregious thing is that there are no real throughput capstones. Obviously, you have Fuhrer, Heart of the Wild, and Nature's Vigil, and I don't understand, like none of these are actual throughputs for Boomkin. Well, Nature's Vigil is pure healing, so it doesn't really translate into anything. It's basically Vampiric Embrace on a, what is this, 1.5 minute cooldown. It helps, it's nice, but hey, I mean, are we having throughput capstones or are we having utility capstones? Because Heart of the Wild is supposed to be a utility capstone, but realistically, it's going to be a healing capstone. Like, if you're gonna be playing balance in any way, shape, or form, likely you will use this to heal. You'll most likely never use this to cat weave, because what? And you're definitely not gonna use this to tank unless, like, shit hits the fan. I guess maybe this not being tied to the affinities like it is right now will give us a little bit more freedom as to not already be locked into what you can do with it. But, I mean, in an ideal world, using Heart of the Wild to be a feral for 45 seconds shouldn't let you do more damage than in balance form, aka you'll never use it for damage, so you'll likely use this for the healing or the tanking utility, and when your tank dies and you just have to pick up the slag, that's also very rare. Not to mention that it would imply that you already have this talented, and likely you will not. Also, Fuhrer is weird because it's supposed to give you, maybe this would have the most value for it as a Boomkin, but it's so far away from the right hand side where you're going to be spending most of your points that I don't know if you're ever going to take it, because one of the big reasons why it's going to be difficult to take Fuhrer is because you will have like Kara's Teachings, which is an actual throughput talent node, a 3-pointer after a bunch of utility and it's followed by a bunch more utility, so it's like damage surrounded by utility. You would think it's a circle of peace, of singing, of utility, but nah, whatever. It's a 3-pointer that can give you up to, what is this, 6% mastery if the tooltip will remain the same, unless it will be changed. And you'll probably really want this if you want to increase your damage. So, and there's no way to get from here, from like our teachings, to any of the capstones. So if the capstones will remain in this fashion where it gives you options to provide help to your group, maybe make it so that like Kara's teachings can go to any of the capstones to the left or to the right, because this just feels like you're being wrenched into a particular tight corners. Like, hey, you'll want this, but if you want that, you'll have to like give up an arm and a leg to get it. It's like, what the fuck's going on? I'm calm, because we will actually talk about the actual balance tree, which hasn't changed much, but it should receive a bunch more changes in the future. And you could ask, like, why are we doing this video now? Well, because the changes that are currently done to balance are actually really good, and I am happy for it. But we do need more, because the expansion is nigh, right at the corner, and we want to play Boomkin. Now, first of all, what happens for the balance tree, probably the biggest change is that eclipse has been changed. So eclipses right now do not occur in alternation, right? So you don't go into solar eclipse and then you'll have to go into lunar eclipse, because that's it. You can go back-to-back solars or back-to-back lunars, which is good because it gives you, first of all, more rotational freedom. It doesn't lock you into the same rotation, because you would be 2 solars, spam lunars, then 2 lunars, spam solars, and that's all you do with the eclipse mechanic. Now you can actually choose, do you want solar eclipse, do you want lunar eclipse, which one do you want, and what empowerments do you want. And now lunar eclipse will increase the damage of your arcane spells by 15%, and solar eclipse will increase the damage of your nature spells by 15%. So basically, depends on what you want to do, because, you know, depends on AoE or single target. Now, the mastery has also changed, and now the mastery has been renamed to Astral Invocation. So now your nature spells deal increased damage to targets affected by Sunfire, and your arcane spells deal extra damage to targets affected by Moonfire, which, I mean, of course, it promotes dot spreading, which is really good. I will have a hard time seeing how you will spread a lot of Moonfires without taking Twin Moons, which is further down the talent tree. And considering that Twin Moons is on the single target part of the talent tree, so... But there are some good things happening. First of all, Starfall has been addressed by the devs with a bunch of blue text, and the main important thing to take out of it, which hasn't yet been implemented on beta as far as I was able to tell, is that they ideally want Starfall to be on a targeted area, and now it's still around me. When you press it, it still goes around you and hits everything, which, I mean, fine. I don't particularly mind that. I would like it to be targeted, but hey, an AoE around you, Starfall is not that bad. However, they did say that they don't think the cooldown addition to Starfall, which is a talent, you have to talent into it to get the cooldown, has been working the way that they intended. And again, this is still in the game, so it hasn't been taken out. We don't know exactly what they're planning to do with it. We know that the cooldown on Starfall is not ideal, and it's clearly not ideal because you don't really have an AoE Astral Power Spender, considering that the builds that I was able to play generate so much Astral Power that you cannot really consume it all in AoE, and it feels weird to cast Star Surge in single target, and for the longest time in Shadowlands, that was not even the best thing to do. The best thing to do in AoE was to spam Starfires in AoE, overcapping Astral Power and ignoring Star Surges completely, which was the main reason why I particularly didn't like playing Balance, considering that I did play a lot of Balance in BFA. So I really hope that these really weird interactions can be addressed somehow. Maybe the talent that makes Starfall have a cooldown, which is basically Stellar Drift, can be changed, where Starfall, I don't know, maybe does 10% less damage. Maybe give Starfall baseline a cooldown, and then this removes the cooldown and makes you stack Starfalls on top of each other. I don't know. I like it to feel like a proper AoE caster. Why can Destro Warlock spam Rain of Fire to the end of days and the damage can stack, but Starfall doesn't seem like it stacks yet? I don't know. Is it weird? Is it a bug? Is it not intended? We'll have to see, because right now, I want that AoE Starfall, man. I want it so bad. Again, on to some more good stuff. Actually, Shooting Stars has been buffed once again after it was nerfed after BFA during the whole of Shadowlands. Now it's been buffed again for the procs to occur a little bit quicker. And one very important update is that it now works with Stellar Flare. And that's important because, first of all, going down to the bottom right capstone, you have Suzuki, which has to be the coolest name for any ability and talent in the entire game. I've learned today what Suzuki means. If you don't know, you should Google it. It's pretty cool. Now, Suzuki is so fucking fun to do and to cast. It's it reminds me of what evokers are getting with, you know, their targeted breath in a line. And obviously this is, I couldn't honestly tell how valuable it is because shit just dies really quick. But this will make, when you press Celestial Alignment, you will apply Stellar Flare to all of the targets affected, which is good because Stellar Flare would have never been used in AoE because it's such a pain to maintain. And on top of the potential Sunfires and Moonfires you'll already have out, you'll also have Stellar Flare, which works with shooting stars, and this will work with Orbit Breaker, which every 15th shooting star calls down a full moon. And in AoE, this is fucking nuts, dude. Orbit Breaker is fucking amazing, man. This makes balance slap moons and celestial bodies and planets. Is balance going to be the next Thanos? Well, I don't know, but so many full moons in massive AoE looks like a fun way to play a KFC chicken, I'm not gonna lie. So this is actually something that I'm really excited about. The fact that all of these synergies really work together, and I hope that we can see this in the left-hand side, which is supposed to be the AoE tree, even though this might be maybe a better way to do AoE as balance in dungeons, who knows, because you'll have so many Stellar Flares when you're Celestial Alignment, of course, and you'll have even more shooting stars, and shooting stars baseline occurs even faster, and now Orbit Breaker is just gonna slap full moons left and right, and that's just ridiculous. I can see balance going for massive haste, so that's cool. And also Starlord, I'm not sure, since I haven't played Starlord in a while, but Starlord also works with Starfall and Star Surge, and one of the builds that I played that I had a lot of fun with didn't take Stellar Drift for the AoE, so I played basically the baseline kind of Starfall, and I was just slapping Starfall one after the other, extending the dots, which was really cool, because if you do use Starfall to extend the dots, then you have more uptime on shooting stars, then you have more Orbit Breakers in AoE, and that will also work with Starlord. And there's a bunch of other talents that I'm not talking about because it's just too much at the moment, that makes Starfall and Star Surge consume less astral power, so you can stack that Starlord really quickly, and it works really well in AoE as well, and that's particularly really cool. There's one other thing that I still have to address that I'm not sure exactly what to think about. On the left-hand side, Blessing of Elune and Blessing of Anshi, which the last blue post about this that I have seen, unless I've missed something, is that they have addressed that they don't want this interaction anymore, or that they want to change it. Now, I don't think this is the last iteration that we will see out of these two effects, but then again, they've talked about this about 2 months ago, and we still don't have any changes. Like, okay, I understand that certain specs take a while to be addressed, but balance has been one of the first few casters released in Dragonflight for us to test, and we still don't have, even the changes that they did announce that they are going to be live, we still don't have a way to play with them. So we want to, because a recent post, and with the new server with the template and the beta announcing that we can play level 70 templates, has essentially said that we're gonna have Mythic Plus and Raid soon. So we want to play it, but at this rate we might not have the full balance experience, even if the content is gonna be available to us. So this is why I'm a little bit on the fence with what the fuck is going on with balance right now, because it's on the cusp of being one of the coolest fucking casters in the game, but there are so many fucking holes in its talent tree right now that I don't know what to think. So hey, are you gonna flip a coin on what to main in Dragonflight? Listen, if it lands on heads, because obviously heads is better than tails, then you might be able to play one of the fucking coolest casters. You'll shoot moons into the earth all day long, and that sounds stupid. You're already playing a fat chicken, okay? Might as well throw the moons at the ground, all right? I know Marcelian is gonna have a problem with this, but hey, if you're gonna be a fat chicken, might as well do stupid shit, right? Or you might play feral. That's funny. It's funny because it's sad and true. But this is it for balance right now. A quick little update, and hopefully to raise a little bit of awareness, because I do like the direction that the devs are going with the balance druid right now. It's obviously not finished, and I hope that, you know, we can play with it in a, let's say, more final state soon, because why not? But thank you for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, Patreons, for supporting the content that we do, and we'll see you guys next time. Love y'all. Bye-bye.
I've been loving it then, I still love it now. Still, I play WoW. Still, I play WoW. Getting better every day, let me show you how. Cause still, I play WoW. Still, I play WoW. It's getting harder to stay, but at the end of the day, it's a guilty pleasure, so just log in and play. Whether it's classic or retail, I'ma do a /bow. Still, I play WoW.